In my program, I bring the studio to the street and interact with everyday Nigerians, taking their worries, their concerns, their questions directly to the ears of their leaders. Senate President Bukola Saraki, Distinguished Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, His Excellency Nyesom Wike, Governor Okezie Victor Ikpeazu, the Executive Governor of Benue State, Samuel Orta. We interrogate the policies and objectives of key stakeholders in the political and development sector to ensure that the impact trickles down to the poorest of the poor in our society.
These people in the house, most of them, their brain don't work.
But do you agree that there were accusations that you made during the campaign that were not necessarily founded?
Me?
Yes.
So what do they call the incident of October 2006?
No impeachment. They call it rascality.
Rascality.
My goal is to dig deep and find the truth, then give meaning, understanding, and solution to it.
Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of the Osasu Show. Today we do one of my favorite things, which is to go into the streets and feel the pulse of everyday Nigerians. We ask them their expectations of the 9th Senate, given the fact that over 4 billion naira was appropriated for the expenses of incoming legislators. Nigerians react to this. They give us their opinions juxtaposed with a new minimum wage which hasn't been implemented yet. We attend the Emerging Entrepreneurs Summit, the 2019 edition, where we feel the pulse of young people who are wanting and yearning to be entrepreneurs. They speak to us about their hopes and aspirations, and my humble self, as well as other speakers and guests, are able to give them our own experience and our own feedback from being successful entrepreneurs. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back on the Osasu Show.
N4.68 billion naira has just been signed for the 9th assembly to be shared among themselves, but the 30,000 minimum wage has been refused to be signed. That shows that the federal government are selfish. These people will save the country for 4 years. At the end of the day, they will pay them their allowance, pay them their pension, pay them everything, but the workers will serve over 30 years. At the end of the day, they will go home with nothing. That's why every time they want to contest the election, they will do all manner of things to make sure that they win and succeed, because they know what is involved. It is a selfish idea. That amount of money is much, and nobody is saying something. Nobody is saying anything, because even though you say it, they will not do anything. Yeah, the indigent, that is the Nigerian, the less privileged. Our talks doesn't count in this country. We don't have a say. Even though you say it, who will listen? Will they act upon it? They will not do anything. For how many months will it take to approve just 30,000 for workers? They can't do that, because it's not for them. Whatever is going to benefit them, they will do it. They can't do what is going to benefit us Nigerians. That money is much.
The 4.6 million naira they released for the National Assembly, that is to show that the government has nothing for the public. That is for the masses. So they are after themselves, and that is why the money is being released for their own sake or for their own usage. So then the masses now who are voting them into power should remain in poverty, and that is why I kept on saying that the government has nothing to offer to the masses. The issue of minimum wage, I think one other time I heard from television that if you go to South Africa, they pay up to 100 and something thousand. But in Nigeria, we are battling of common 30,000 naira. It's a very, very bad something. Very poor, and it's very bad. And I believe the state governors, they are paying special advisors, and their aides and all the boys around them, they are earning well. But when it comes to the civil service or civil servant, they are paying them peanuts. It's very bad.
Well, first of all, I think it's definitely not the masses. It's not the government of the masses. It's not the government of the majority. It's definitely the government of the few, rich, and connected people. You understand? This 30,000 naira they are talking about is barely $100. And Nigeria is right now, by international organizations, is the poorest country in the world. And yet legislators are getting so much money. And the masses, which is the vast majority, who elected them into position. This is a democracy. The vast majority who elected them into various positions are at the receiving end of this. I call it an anomaly. It is too much for legislators that are the highest paid, one of the highest paid in the world. It is too much for a country that is the poorest in the world. And these legislators have several allowances. They have salary. They also have constituency projects of which they allocate them. They also have juicy committees. And you're still giving them, a lot of money as allowances for furniture and these things. And most of these legislators were in government, have been in government for a very long time. So these things, for me, it's definitely too much.
It's a worry hard to know that we are an African. We are still in a third country. We are still underdeveloped. Our reason is still backward. Fundamentally, in the world, precisely Americans, London, and other countries, they have regard over their masses. In Africa, using Nigeria as a point of contact, we are still backward. We have no regard over our masses, whether someone is dying, someone has no one eating. Our leadership are self-centered. They have no regardness of the people whom they are ruling. Okay, we are talking about 30,000 minimum wage. In South Africa, they are paying 120,000. They are paying 120,000. Then look at the ratio. The ratio are not the same. And people work every day. The senators, politicians, they are giving them heavy amount of money. Whether people, the civil servants, that are suffering. That's why there's a lot of criminality. There's a lot of armed robbery. There's a lot of kidnapping because the youth cannot hold themselves because of all this that is happening. You see, most of the time, our leaders doesn't take correction. That is their problem. They does not take correction. And that's the reason why most of the time, if the kidnapping you want to start, let the kidnapping start from them. Let them begin. Now I'm just telling you, because there are some youth now, they are jobless, they have been graduated for many years. No job anywhere. That money is enough to create industry. That money is enough to create companies to employ people. If there's a lot of killing, let the killing start from them. So that they will wake up. That killing staff, they will wake up. That money is enough to put food on poor man's table. But they will not. They have no, they do whatever they like to do. Say, after all, like this country now, no, the law is not being regarded. The law is meant for the poor masses. If somebody do whatever that's normal way, harass him. But let a poor man do something, he will be harassed. See, my brother, this country has, in fact, our leadership is on question. I am just telling you. Compared with the leadership in the world, it's not the same.
There are some parameters we need to put in place and check their correlation. Now look at the correlation between the population and the figure 4.68 billion naira for just 469 people. Then Nigeria, we're like 180 million naira, and a billion is like 1,000 million. So when the teachers, or the teachers and other workers in the education sector that are clamoring for this minimum wage, they are not even up to the 180 million. I don't think they are up to 2 million, give or take. Now, when you give them, each of them 1 million naira, it's even enough to settle them. So for me, I think I'm going to suggest that this money, this 4.68 billion, they should channel it. If they can't channel the entire 4.68 billion naira to the education sector, then they should at least take a portion of it, like half of it, and give to the teachers and the lecturers and all those working in the education sector, and they will be happy. Now, when you build the education sector, believe me, you are building the Nigerian economy. So many things are going wrong in this country, but when you build the education sector, then so many things will be put right. I will support. Now, I am working in the education sector, so I'm actually going to be a bit biased when it comes to this. I would definitely support the education sector being pumped with much funds. There are so many things that need to be put in place in the universities, in federal secondary schools, and that. So I would suggest that we divert this money there and use them to build this institution so that the economy itself will be better and Nigeria will be a better place for us. I think the money is too much because they have other allowances they are getting. Why don't they just settle for these other allowances and let those in the education sector get this money so that this minimum wage they've been clamoring for the past how many years and now it's getting to the final phase. Let them sign this thing, channel this money, and then everybody will be happy.
4.68 billion naira to the incoming government is too much. It's insensitive to the plight of the people of this nation. A lot of people are suffering. Even before the election, people were suffering, and instead of addressing that matter, that is a matter that is very urgently need to be addressed. Instead of addressing that matter, you are signing 4.68 billion to incoming government. Is insensitive and selfish. Money is too much. You can use it to pay the civil servants, and that will bring in, that will make money to circulate. Money will come into everybody's hand. People, crying everywhere will stop.
4.8 billion naira to National Assembly for many people. It's much now. It's very simple. It's very much. I think that Nigeria should do something about the masses. The money is too much. What are you going to do to change their wardrobe or what? Those people already have money. There are masses that are clamoring, suffering here and there. They should share the money. They should not give them that money. And this minimum wage people have been lamenting for long. They should do something, even if it's 60 or 70%. It's not much to people, to Nigeria. We deserve it. We are masses. We work for it.
Permit me to say, like we will always believe, that nobody who is a graduate, either the secondary school graduate or the university graduate, has a right to be carrying CV and say, I'm looking for a job, when you have jobs. Do you know why? What is employment? Employment is any legitimate activity you engage that can give you financial reward and sustain you and sustain your livelihood. True of us. That's why this summit is very key. It's very key in the sense that what we are going to be doing is for you to understand, how can I do it better? What is that thing that has not been done? What is that solution I can provide? And how will I provide such solutions?
Without taking a poll, I know that the vast majority of you here have one or two side hustles. So you're already on your way. You're already entrepreneurs. Our problem is not actually starting up. Our problem is standing up and building an enterprise that lasts for the long term. Our problem is not the ambition to start, it's the vision to grow by scaling up. Every year, that's Jeff Bezos, the chairman and founder of Amazon. Every year, Jeff Bezos, he writes an open letter to all his shareholders, and he has done this consistently since 1997. So to date, he has written 23 letters, all right? And when you study those letters, you get an insight into the love mark, not the trademark, but the love mark that he has created and the core principles that guide Amazon's culture. So in summary, these principles are: number one, do not worry about competitors. Number two, do not worry about making money for shareholders. Number three, do not worry about the short term. Think only about the long term. Long term, I mean. And then number four, focus on customer needs, and everything else will fall in place.
There's anything I hate in life after sin is poverty. And I want you to leave this meeting making up your mind that you will never be poor. The poor will always be at the mercy of the rich. You may not agree with me, but the poor will always live for the rich. I'm a very pragmatic person. I'm an author. I've written, by the grace of God, over 100 books. Masterpieces, not just ordinary books. I know much about the earth I live. I don't want to live in ignorance here, because if you live in ignorance, somebody will take your destiny and run away with it. There's anything I hate in life, right from my childhood, is ignorance. Listen to me. You cannot hide a trained genius for a long time. You can only hide him for a while. But very shortly, his ingenuity will bring him out. So if you are going to make a successful entrepreneur, you must be well developed. If you will agree with me, let me tell you, and whether you agree or you don't agree, I will still say it. Life doesn't pay you according to your work, but according to your worth. It will amaze you to know that the MD of this institution does not work more than the cleaner. But he earns many times over and over more. You know why? It is not according to work, but according to worth. The problem of our world today is that many worthless people want to be great. See, listen to me. Greatness is inward. So that's why you have to pay attention to who you are. Hear this. I'm conscious of my time. It is only a slave that will look outside himself for destiny. Our major problem in Africa, especially in Nigeria, is because we always look outward for things. We are not looking inward. And that's why you have the level of what we have in that room over there. And yet, we are still the major exporter of economic migrants. You are still rated as the poverty capital of the world. You know why? Black people don't pay attention to themselves. Listen to me, school doesn't help you to pay attention to yourself. It's a personal responsibility. Because hear this, some of the people that are even teaching you in school, they have not even discovered who they are.
The world is global. Don't become a Nigerian champion and you feel proud. No, you must be known globally. Nigeria is blessed. We have all the natural resources. We have all the brains. I've met with young people. I've met with so many people. We have good ideas. What people are looking for is that enabling environment. But we must create that environment. We can't wait for someone to create it. And in creating it, it means you must participate actively. I'm not a politician, but I tell people, go and join a political party. It does not necessarily have to be the major political party. Be a card-carrying member, because you can't change things from the outside. Our father talked about people in the abroad that we are still sending money to. It is a reality. Today we're talking and debating about illegal migration. So a lot of young people are leaving Nigeria through Libya. They want to go to Europe. I've been in a plane before with a young person who does not know his fate, and he's going to Malaysia. I made my name from this country, and I believe if you decide today that you want to be a solution, trust me, and as long as you represent people, and when I say people, in the true sense, you represent people, the sky is your starting point. Thank you.
That we must also do here now. There's one personality who would have taken time to read her citation, but permit me to quickly run down the citation because it's time for the award. And the most celebrated personality is in our midst. Please, before I go on, please round of applause for Ms. Osasu Ibn. She's one person that looks at me and says, you can do it. Not just say you can do it. She gives us the platform to do it. I'm talking about a personality who whose contribution to our society has brought succor to the lives and families of this nation. One who has provided solution even when every other person ran away. I'm talking about the person in whose presence, in whose contribution, whose passion brought the people of Agatu out of the bondage that they experienced sometime in this nation. Please raise the award. And on that note, permit me to say that for the year 2019, Ms. Sasso Ibinedium is the recipient of the award, the Legendary Bridge Builder Award 2019.
Thank you very much, Mr. Osasu Ibinedium, for being a blessing. I'm actually delighted to give you this and to present this to you. Not because of just what you're doing or what you've done to him. Never knowing me, you've actually been a blessing. And you've actually helped me to fulfill a chunk of my destiny. And I just want to pray that this is the beginning of many. Destiny still awaits you on a much higher level, and you will be celebrated all the days of your life. So thank you.
So can I have the Osasu Show Foundation Award? This award is, they have an outstanding innovation and leadership in what they do. They're setting the pace for others to follow. We quite appreciate them. Thank you.
On behalf of the organizers, the Emerging Entrepreneurs Multipurpose Cooperative Society Limited, I'm pleased to present you. You know, it's really weird, eh? I'm pleased to present you this award.
Thank you. First of all, I would just like to thank the conveners of this auspicious occasion. I am truly humbled, the Osasu Show Foundation, the Osasu Show TOS TV Network. It's truly an honor to be receiving this award. But this award truly is for everyone in the room. This award is for everyone who dared to come out today to pick up one or two skills that would help them become a better entrepreneur. I moved back to the country in 2014, and I said to myself, how can I be a solution to the myriad of problems Nigeria is facing? And I decided to do that through bridging the gap. I was doing political campaigns for several politicians who were running elections in 2014, 2015, and I was doing my charity work, which is what I'm truly passionate about, which is what I believe my purpose is. So I had a good rapport with the elite and the masses, and I said, how can I be the bridge between the divide? How can I give a voice to the voiceless? How can I take words directly from the mouth of everyday Nigerians to the ears of their leaders and vice versa? And that's how the Osasu Show came about. We launched in March of 2015, and in March of 2019, we celebrated 4 years running a successful show. It hasn't been easy. In 2016, I tell this story all the time. I'm sure my good friend Hamza has heard it a million times. But we had like 15K in our bank account. That's 15,000 naira. And obviously, I had maybe 2-3 staff. I was doing everything by myself at this time. And I said, God, you have asked me to do this. You've put me in this position to amplify the voices of Nigerians. And we need money. We need money to pay airtime. We need money to empower people. We need money to conduct these interviews. And God made a way. He asked me to diversify. He said, do not rely on just one stream of income. You have to diversify your stream of income. And in 2016, we launched the first Pan-African station in Africa, TOS TV Network. That's it for today's program. To watch extended clips, you can visit our website, www.tostvnetwork.com. Don't forget to follow us on social media at The Osasu Show, at TOS TV Network, at The Osasu Show Foundation, and at Osasu Ibinedium on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll see you same time, not the same place, back in our studios here in Abuja. And until then, take very good care of yourself. God bless you.